Hey guys, RockingTheBlade here. Once again, what's up everybody? What is up guys? Whew! Again, I know I promised I was going to film yesterday, but I didn't really sleep too well yesterday. And my mom got sick, and I had to take care of her, and found out she had arthritis. So by the time I got back home, I passed out and didn't get up to until not that long ago. So, better late than never, but here it is. Hey, it's release date anyway. Here it is, the release day week. Here is my review of The Merc with the Mouth, DeadPool. So, how is it? My God, I haven't laughed and had so much fun with a film probably since Ted 2. If you want a good action comedy film, then DeadPool is right up your alley. It's like because I have a Deadpool video game review. I showed you how he broke the fourth wall and how meta he was, that he knows his own game and how he broke the fourth wall constantly, and he knows he's in the movie and stuff, and just he knows that he was in the game and stuff, and just did insane over the top stuff. It was just like that, but in movie form, and not for nothing. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, unfortunately had his share of bad movies. But I can honestly say I think in my opinion, finally got that role that's going to push him into superstardom, because that with Henry Cavill, it was Man of Steel. With Michael Keaton, at least I'm saying his name right, Batman. Christian Bale, Batman, again, Christopher Reeve, Superman, and with Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. The point is, he finally got that role that made him that showed that he is a great actor. I don't know, I always knew he was. I did like him in Safe Haven with Denzel Washington. He did great in that movie, and I can tell he's a good actor. He was a good actor. I can tell. He kept getting into bad movies and bad scripts and stuff, and now finally he's in and Green Lantern, I thought would be a big hit, considering the fact that the person who directed the movie directed one of my favorite Bond films that got me into the Bond franchise. That made me fall in love with it, Casino Royale, and for it to flop the way it did was sad. And sometimes, again, you can't blame the actor; you gotta blame the director, because, for example, I thought Superman Returns, probably the most boring Superman film out there. And to me, Brandon Routh, though he looked like Superman, his portrayal was just so boring and forgettable. It was just like, eh. Where in his awesome DC show, Legends of Tomorrow, he's like one of my favorite characters. I was like, at first, like, really, Brandon Routh? But he's killing it as Captain Adam. I mean, wow, he's just like doing fantastic. He's like one of the best characters, one of the best characters, not one of my favorite characters on that show. So does it show you that, just because a person's doing a bad movie doesn't mean they're necessarily a bad actor. So sometimes the actor has to rely on the director to hopefully to get a good performance. But that's my point. The point is, Ryan Reynolds killed it. So let's get to the movie. Oh, and just of course, spoiler alert. If you have not seen the movie, click away right now, because I'm going to spoil everything. So click away now, because once I start, you have been warned. Okay, let's get to the meat of it. Okay, it starts with that epic highway. It starts with him going on a taxi ride with his almost Indian-looking guy, and he's telling about his girl problems and stuff, and he's saying how you should take charge and really show your girlfriend why you should love her and stuff. And he forgot his weapons, apparently. All he had was 2 handguns and his sword. So it is what it is. So anyway, so he went on the bridge, and it did the same thing like he did it with the he saw the same shit that he did with the highway that was pitched. It was a bit different though, because instead of the picture, instead of that one part, remember when the car was flipping and there was a motorcycle guy shooting, and he showed a picture of the guy like, yeah, I'm gonna chop your head off. Instead, it was this Deadpool stabbing this guy named Francis, and he showed a picture like during the fights. He's like, "Have you seen this man?" And he was getting punched, and like, and so that was different. And so the whole scene itself was different. One guy, and when the car was flipping and all that stuff, one guy was splat against like one of the freeway signs like a bug. It was just I don't think this movie's like way crazy with its violence. Not Kill Bill crazy, but it gets pretty close. But even before that, he was like being so meta. Like, how you got this role ass? Well, he talked about how I got this role you may ask. Well, he made like a gay joke how he sucked. I guess Hugh Jackman balls to get this role and shit and whatnot. And he jumped in, did what I was just telling you about. When he did in the car. And after that, he's like, wait. Of course, the whole that's why black guys can't see me bleed. He's like, okay, fine, guys. I have 12 bullets, so you have to share. And he missed a couple of times, but he got everyone with one shot. With one shot, or making them pass, or making the bullets like hit multiple people, so that way you can kill them. And it was just done. It was so done. At one point, he was like laying down like this because he was dodging this guy's gunfire, and the guy going to cop. He's like laying down like this to the floor, like not giving a shit. The guy was like, someone's not counting, and just nonchalant, just shot like he's a big piece of shit. Those little things that he does in the movie is why I loved this film. There's little details. So he finally goes. So then the guy, and he's like trying to find Francis. One of them was a mutant though, because like there's one part you saw in the trailer where he shoots these 3 guys and says, "Oh, I'm gonna touch myself tonight." There's like a weird scene, like just like, "Oh, I'm gonna touch myself." That part. Well, one of them was a mutant, because you see like the red mark, like there's like a bullet, like a bullet hit there. He falls down. It turns out he's a mutant. It's like a mutant. He gets like a little sword fight with the guy, and he just like kebab the hell out of that dude. And of course, he mentions the fact that, oh my god, this guy, he mentions the fact that his a boyfriend took a girlfriend to see a superhero movie, and like this guy made kebab the shit out of him, and he's like, whoa, there's a different kind of a superhero movie and stuff. So he explains. So then he goes. So while he had the guy held him, and he explains how he came to be. He was like a mercenary, and you see like. The scene starts up with this guy like, did you order a pizza? And the guy's like, I didn't order a fucking pizza. Who the hell are you? And he's like, oh, I did. And he's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. And he pulled out a gun, and everyone starts freaking out. He's like, are you the guy that owned the apartment? Like, are you here for me? He's like, nope, I'm here for the pizza guy. And I forgot the girl's name, but let's call her Stacy. You know that girl named Stacy? She says you're stalking her. He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, don't fucking lie to me. He said all these meta, great, funny jokes. And he's like, oh, he promised not to fuck with her. She wants you to stop. He's like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna come and find you and beat the shit out of you, and shit. So then afterwards, he made a little gay joke to him. It was hilarious. I forgot what it was, but I know it was like, I could be wrong, but I must have said that wrong, or did I? Like just trying to just freak him out, and like he go to the girl and show a picture of him holding a gun off frame like that. Or a picture with a pizza box and written marker saying, I'll leave you, I'm sorry. And she just said thank you and stuff. And I think she paid him in advance because he didn't get any money there. So yeah, they go to this bar where he meets this guy named Weasel. Though the Weasel I know in the comics, he's more of a geek with the computers, where he's more of some geek guy who is behind the bar who helps, the latest job that's going on that people want you to do. So, if that's his original origin, unfortunately I don't know too much about the Weasel character. If that's canon or just for the sake of movie, but he's played by a great comedian, T.J. Miller, which I've seen some of his stand up. Hilarious dude. Definitely go check him out. So yeah. He did great too. He had his funny moments here and there, but so yeah, then everything, and he meets this girl. Oh, and the whole DeadPool thing going on. Like if a person dies, they make a bet to see this guy's. He tricked his this big buff guy. He told him, oh yeah, he sent some flowers just for you. Like make him think like this big black guy is gay. Making this making like this black guy was sitting on this big biker dude. And the biker dude was like, what the fuck? He beats the shit out of him. And then, almost nearly to death. But then the Weasel character went to transport. Like, no, he's still alive. And I guess they're all placing bets to see if he'll die or something in the bar fight. And that's how you win money. It's called the DeadPool and stuff. Who will die. And if you guess you live or dies, you get money. So, I guess that's how that works. but they have to die, I guess, because like, no, sorry guys, no money today, whatever. And then like, oh, whatever. And then he meets this hot looking girl, short hair and that stuff, and like they hit it off really fast. And before you know it, they kind of he bought it, he want to take her out. They go like to a Chuck E. Cheese and just start playing around, having fun. And he's like, well, he's like, well, she like, I think he paid for her time for 30 minutes, and like, oh, I have these things. Oh, you have 3 minutes. So we went to do 3 minutes, and they had sex, and they immediately fell in love, and they had sex the whole year. I mean, I guess they were together for a year, and he loved her so much that he asked her to marry her, and she said yes. And of course, everything. So of course, he was like half. He had a shirt on, but below half he was like naked, and like he was hiding the ring against his ass from the movie was suggesting. And they had pretty fucked up childhoods, but they're fucked up. They're both fucked up. They kind of complete each other. And she said the word puzzle, but they complete each other. So they were a great couple. Another thing, the romance was very believable. She was so nice and sweet. Like you really care for this kid. You really want this relationship to work. And you think everything's going well, but of course, for all you Deadpool heads like me, you know how that's not always going to be the case. And that's the case with a lot of comics. But, again, we're getting a little bit off track. So then, all of a sudden, he takes a pee. And he wants to continue, maybe, want to have sex. And all of a sudden, he's like, passes out. Like, what happened? Then, it turns out, he had cancer. And it was pretty advanced. He had I think his brains, liver, and his colon. So, yeah. And I didn't say what type of cancer it was, but... Cancer. Well, the point is, cancer's bad. Cancer's cancer. I mean, I doubt. I doubt there's no such thing as a kind of cancer. When it's cancer, it's always bad. So, he had really bad cancer. And unfortunately, it was advanced. But it was one of those kind of cancers that doesn't have signs. So that's why they couldn't pick it up. And of course, she was definitely like, I heard there's gonna be some research in China and Japan. Maybe they have some different medicines. But she had that face like he was afraid he was gonna die, and he knew that. And then, of course, he was getting scary. He finally met the love of his life, and all of a sudden, he's gonna die, and it's so fucked up. But then this guy is like, I can help you. And he goes to the bar. He drinks. He's depressed. He doesn't know what to do. And then he gives a picture of him and his girlfriend. Like, hey, I want to marry you before you get all fucked up with chemo and shit or whatever. He, of course, gives Weasel a picture of him and his girlfriend and stuff. And then, so then what happened was, so then this guy is like, hey, by the way, there's some guy here for you. It could be for work, I'm not sure. So he goes over there and he's like, hey, what can I tell you? Not only cure your cancer, but we can make you more than just a man, like a superhero. And he's like, I'm not no hero, and no thanks. It's one of those things that it was too good to be true. He's like, nah, fuck this. I'm not gonna do this shit. But then he's laying there. He's like this in the rain, really thinking about this shit. And it sounds like all these different diets and tablets he's doing is just not stopping the cancer. It's coming no matter what. So of course, he did what any person would do in that situation. Hell, I probably would even do it. But I mean, if I know what would lead up to, I wouldn't. But if I know like what he knew, I would do, especially if I love a loved one like that. And like it's true. He said cancer doesn't affect you; it affects the people around you. So he got scared, and obviously, so he said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do it." So he goes and he wants to start the treatment and stuff, and then he goes through all of it. They get this mutant gene. That they probably got from Wolverine maybe while they were giving him the anti-venom claws. That's what they can guess. And they were making him put him through this mad stress test to force the mutant gene to come out. They might make him like do these oxygen to breathe, or just punch him and make him almost drown. Like, all this crazy shit. And then and the oxygen one I just mentioned, he's like, oh yeah, guess what? If you think we're here to cure you, we're not. What if the mutant gene were to work and kick in? We will force an implant on you to mind control you, and then say to the highest bidder. So either way, he was the they weren't going to help him. And even if they did heal him from his cancer, he wouldn't go back to his girlfriend. They'll sell him to some guy in like maybe Afghanistan and have him go kill freedom fighters and stuff for the sake of a dictator that, you know, as a hired mercenary. But he won't be under control. He'll be under their control. But then as the thing was going on, like the cancer, it's because, you know, the mutant gene was advancing really, really fast, but the healing factor kicked in. So even though it fucked up his face, the healing factor keeps to where you keep being alive. So anyway, he's like, well, sorry, we're gonna keep you here anyway. Even though we healed you, we're gonna keep you. We're gonna see what else we can get out of you with the mutant gene. So then, he headbutts the Gina Carano character. I forget her name though, but he headbutts her, and she was like a lighter in her mouth. I don't know why. And he lights the match, burns the thing out, manages to get out, and he gets into a fist fight with a guy. Of course, he loses. You know, he kind of loses, and he kind of like leaves Wade Wilson for dead. And he was talking to this guy earlier how he did this to his kids because, you know, he was also dying of cancer as well. And of course, the whole place crashed, but luckily, since he had the healing factor, he survived. So then, and he was devoted and at first he wanted to go say, hey, look, go to his girlfriend, look, I'm alive, and I'm healed of my cancer. But he looked like so, like he looked bad. He looked really fucking bad. And because of that, he looked so bad that he couldn't confront her because he afraid that she was going to reject him, and have nothing to do with him anymore. So he couldn't confront her. So instead, his next thing was, well, let me find this asshole. Which, by the way, he asked his name. He would never give him his name, but luckily, he heard the name tag off his coat, and it was Francis. So he tried to find this guy named this evil British guy named Francis, and spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. He's a mutant, and he has the ability to feel no pain. So and also have fast reflexes. So yeah, nothing special, but it's what it is. And for what it looked like for the trailer, which the trailer already spoiled, that Gina Carano's also mutant. She's super strong, like Colossus strong, because she bitch smacked him in the trailer, which I'll get into that later on. So anyway, he wears these different little costumes at first to try to find Francis while funny antics happen. Of course, they tried different costumes and stuff, and eventually he got a DeadPool costume. And the girl's like, and this blind girl in the washing room's like, oh, why just wear red so that way you don't have to wash it, keep washing your clothes. And he kept looking around trying to find Francis. Just all these funny antics. So my favorite moment though was like, I'm gonna get you. Like, this guy's bleeding in the ice. He's on that rolling thing. The thing that they clean the ice on. But I guess if you run, it looks like, well, if you run underneath it, it'll kill you. I'll get you. And in 5 minutes, because the guy like all the way on the other side of the hockey ring, and he's on the other side, he's chasing with the thing. But like his leg's been shot, one of his legs been shot, so he can only like crawl. So he's trying to crawl. It's hilarious. That was a hilarious scene, and he's like trying to find. And eventually, he ran to the guy that first wanted to recruit him, and stuff. They made him go to the Weapon X project thing. And he's like, oh yeah. And you'll tell me where Francis is, but you don't want to see it. He turns the camera away, and the guys and girls, there's a black guy and a blonde and a white woman there, and they were like, their face like, oh my god, like you did something really bad, because they made a face like they saw the depths of hell. So Lord knows what he did. And after that, we cut back to him for a quick moment, killing the guy. He finds Francis. And she's like beating the shit out of him, and like he's stabbing against the wall, and he's like, but then of course Colossus came and saw this on TV, and he took a girl named Warhead. I could be wrong. This young goth looking chick named Warhead, and he like smacked DeadPool against a car for causing mayhem. And like DeadPool, you should use your powers for good. Why don't you join the X-Men? You join us instead of like just being a mercenary. At least you'll be part of a family, that can care for you and stuff. And he's like, I don't want to join your stupid team and shit, Colossus and shit. And the guy, and while they're talking, he's like, hey, your guy's gone. He turns back, he's like, what? He gets really upset, and he punches Colossus, and he's so hard that his hand breaks. Doesn't go the other hand, his other hand breaks, and he didn't give up. No, he kicks him. Of course, his leg breaks, and he's still talking smack to fucking Colossus. You ever seen a one-legged man before and shit? It was hilarious. And he jumps up and he's like, he tried to kick him. He's like, okay, stop, that's enough. And he shoves DeadPool down. He handcuffs him. He forces him into the X chair to kind of like force him to join. And he cuts his own damn hand off. And he managed to jump into a garbage truck. And while the hand was, what was left in the hand, he had to do this with the hand real quick before he got away. And after that, and of course, you wonder, yes, he can grow back his hand too, apparently. So, and by the way, he got a roommate. It was that blind lady in the washing machine earlier, telling him, hey, you should wear red, instead of wearing white, so you want to clean when you get shot. So then they became roommates and stuff, and she bought an IKEA and stuff, and tried to build it, and of course it didn't fucking work because she's blind, and I guess that was a joke, and he's waiting for his hand to heal and stuff, and then afterwards, Francis finds out that okay, we need to find ways we can kill him. But they go to the bar, they figure out where he worked at, and okay, have you seen Wade Wilson? He's a friend of mine. Like, I've never heard of that name. Of course, Weasel kind of, it looks so shady and stuff. Like out of a Matrix. Even I think Weasel, or Gotham Weasel was making fun of him about that shit. And like, he knows the picture and like, I didn't know we had a girlfriend. Like, he was like, what are you gonna do with her? And the Gina Carrero chick, like, grabbed him and pulled up in the air. And of course, everyone had guns. Like, honey, I wouldn't do that because you're in the wrong place to do that shit. Like, no. Let the guy go. We have what we need. So then, so they go kidnap her girl, and of course Weasel immediately goes to tell DeadPool, hey, listen, they'll go after your girl, and he gets wondering, yeah, his hand grew back at one point. He made a funny joke beforehand, like he had like a little baby hand, like he want to masturbate with it and shit, and tell him, hey, go to your room. It was just hilarious. So then they said, okay, let's go to the strip club as a waitress. And so they go there, and not for nothing, of all the cameos, Stan Lee's cameo was this movie probably the best damn Marvel cameo, period. End of fucking discussion. It is the best damn Marvel cameo I have ever seen. And he plays the DJ in the strip club. Okay, Here's Eva Angelina stripper coming on into the stage. And it was so hilarious that it got a fucking standing ovation. It was hilarious, to say the least. It was hilariously amazing, and I fucking loved it. And of course, again, he almost confronted her, but then he's so afraid that he's gonna get rejected. He doesn't love him for who he is and stuff. And he makes a joke. It was funny. While he's in the bathroom, he's like, get your shit together, man up. He's saying how you think Ryan Reynolds got all these roles because of his good acting skills? No, because he was good looks. he made fun of himself. Another great joke, by the way. So then, but unfortunately, the boss was like, hey, someone's asking for you. Something about your old boyfriend. And she thought it was Wade at first, but it was, of course, the damn Francis asshole, Nate. And of course, Gina Carano knocked her out and kidnapped her. And then, of course, he texts Wade, oh, I have your girlfriend. And he put a shitty emoji on her. And he got really upset. And he's like, fuck, I have no choice. So then he goes to the X mansion. He's like, hey, I need you and Colossus. Says, you helped me lost. You helped me, help me get away. He got my girlfriend. So you guys gotta fucking help me. She's like, okay, sure. And and of course they go help him. Though he mentions the fact that, man, like the studio had enough money to get another X-Men or something. The house is so damn empty. Oh, whatever. So then they go so they go in a big. So they start the epic. So they take a taxi there again, of course, Which, fun fact, and when he first took attacks at the beginning of the movie, he didn't pay the guy, which I don't know why the guy would take him again, because, again, I had to see the money exchange again. But I guess here's why, because remember how, earlier the guy had a girl he liked, and he had a rival guy that got her, to love him instead of the taxi driver. The guy was like, the guy's like, well, like it's not working out too well, but I think I have an idea. I think I figured out something. And I hit a bump, and hear the guy in the back the truck go, ah! He's like, Deadpool's like, what the fuck was that? He's like, I have him in the back of the car. He's like, that's not what I mean. That's not what I meant. And Colossus looked at him like, what the, again, that dirty look looks cool. Like, really, Deadpool? You're getting telling people to do crazy shit? And I was like, no. But of course, he didn't tell him to do that. But Deadpool, like, it was like having, he's like, you shouldn't do things like that. Kill him. It's like, that's totally wrong. You shouldn't be. That's not what I told you. Throw him in the lake afterwards, like that. And he's like whispering to me, and he was like, and especially the girl you love, she won't accept you for that. Kidnap her. And I think finally got to the destination. It's like, now remember what I said. You know what to do. Like, little things like that was fantastic. So then they finally made that epic walk. Where he was at. He's like, hey, aren't you forgetting something? And he was like, oh, shit, my stuff. Because he was, like, packing all this shit with Weasel earlier. And he was all like, okay, all right, I'm going to go kick some ass. And he's like, you stay here because, well, you can't because you're blind. And you can, he took a little, like, mini handgun from her. And he's like, and Weasel's like, I will come, but I don't want to. Of course, then that's why he had a guy Colossus and Warhead. So then they go and he's like, all right. He's like, okay, he finally, this is where you are. So then, of course, he said he's been after him first, and then they're in a big warehouse, and then, like, they have a big epic fight, and, of course, Colossus kicks some ass, so was Warhead. And, by the way, she shed her suit, and she had, like, this cool, like, first-class-looking suit, she looked amazing, by the way. So, anyway, and they bring up the guards and stuff, and Gina Carano, kind of sucker punched Colossus. And he's like, that's why I brought him. And she sucker punched. Oh, that's why I brought her. The trailer. And then they got into a big fight and stuff. Well, she was fighting off the guards, and Colossus came in, and he was like getting in some offensive moves. And my friend Cooper was worried about that Colossus was going to job. Like, no, he's not going to job. It was a big part of the movie, and he was like, he was in the fight. Actually, he was winning. So he saw him. My friend was like, yes. I'm like, I told you, man. He's Colossus. He's like one of the most popular X-Men. They're not making him job. Seriously. Now, I know it was told, yeah, of course. But, this is fucking Colossus we're talking about here. So, anyway, they were going tit for tat, and she was doing her shit, and he killing all these guys. And apparently he recognized one of the guys who's probably a mercenary who he worked with in the bar at one point. He's like, hey, Francis. He's like, Dave, is that you? From TJ Friends? What's up, man? He headbutts him. Oh, how the kids? Oh, that's great. Oh, well, I'd like to see you again. Sometimes he didn't kill him, just headbutt him. And, like, he's like, hey, Francis, check this shit out. He spelled all the dead bodies in Francis, and one of them was an eye and shit. And at one point, he said the word Francis and stuff. And at one point, he chopped off a guy's head. And he spelled the word out, Francis, to him. So he managed to get up, and of course, he got like on his metal plate thing, and Warren used her power to get all the way to the top of this little crate full of shit. And they got into a big, epic sword fight, and it was really epic and amazing. And it was a big, epic sword fight. And of course, he put her in the oxygen machine that he was in earlier. So of course, while they're in the fight, he managed to throw his sword to break it. And meanwhile, back to Colossus and Gina Carano, he was about to win, but then her boob came out, and she sucker punched him again by hitting him in the balls, and she was choking him, and Warhead came in and did like this crazy power drive move on them. But of course, it caused everything to go to shit. And then during the epic fight, Deadpool got fucked up. He sees some weird little woodland creatures and stuff while he was looking at his girlfriend. He took the knife out, and and everything started falling apart. They started punching him, but then they lost each other because all this shit was falling apart. He put her in the crate that was the oxygen machine in, and just threw her off, so that he could save her in time, and so she could be saved. And it was a big chaos. And then afterwards, Colossus got her out of this thing. She was safe, and Deadpool was like in the background. That was awesome! And the main Francis guy tackled him, and and he managed to beat him. And afterwards, he beat him and he had him down. And Colossus like, no, don't kill him and stuff. Come on, this is a chance for you to be a hero. You don't have to kill this guy. But of course, before that happened, he's like, okay, now you gotta fix me so I won't look so fucking ugly. He's like, I can't fix you. I gave you the power, but as far as your face goes, I ain't no plastic surgeon. He didn't say that. Point is, I can't help you. Even if I could, I wouldn't. He's like, even if I could, I wouldn't. But point is, he didn't know any way to fix how fucked up he looked. And of course, Colossus was doing his piece of how you shouldn't kill him, you should be a hero. And Deadpool's like, and the whole time he's like, he's gonna shoot him, he's gonna shoot him, he's gonna shoot him, he's gonna shoot him. Bam! He shoots him with the gun, by the way, the little handgun that he took from the old blind lady earlier. So afterwards, of course, Colossus never seen a person die before. Apparently, he threw up. And afterwards, he's like, "Don't worry. I promise to. I mean, if you guys need help, I'll temporarily guys join your team. You know what I'm saying?" He's okay, good, all right, whatever. And of course, the girlfriend was upset. He's like, "How can you just leave without telling me?" He's like, "I'm sorry. I thought this thing was gonna help me, but it turns out it didn't, and I got these powers and all this shit." And she had the right to be, and she was angry, and it was always like, he's like, "I don't look like the same I used to be." You know what I'm saying? She takes out the mask, and you know what he fucking did? He stapled Hugh Jackman's face from People magazine to his face. He's like, "Really? I'm sorry. I'm really ashamed of how I looked." And of course, she took it off and saw how he looked, and was like, "Yeah, this is me." And of course, being the great girl that she is, she accepted how he looked, and a big makeout. It had a big makeout scene, and he managed to save her and stuff. And of course, Moorhead, accepted. It's like Deadpool's cool, and then you're a cool guy after all. It's like and Deadpool's like, "You're awesome yourself," and they walk up, and of course they pan away, walk into the sunset, and that's it. That was Deadpool. Now, what happened to the Gina Carrero character? I think Colossus have her under arrest because last time I saw it was a big explosion he was carrying. I believe the Warhead and Warhead is and the thing Warhead and Gina Carrero girl during the explosion and was running away from it. So he probably got her arrested in something, so to take her to jail or have to see her do whatever. So, excuse me. That was the movie in general. So how was it? Fan-fucking-tastic. It was meta as hell. The action was great. The comedy was great. It didn't take itself too seriously. I had fun throughout the entire movie. The best, in my opinion, I don't care what anyone says, the best Stan Lee cameo ever. What else? Oh yeah, there's even like a little credits with a little cartoon with and even how it began. I didn't mention this part. How it began, it shows off the whole highway scene, directed by some actor, the villain by some British douchebag. It's like, I won't spoil the rest, but it's like, it had these different things to detect some CGI character. Like, that's how it started. It didn't even show other people's name, like Wade Wilson as Deadpool, this person is this person. No, it didn't do that shit. It only did it after the credits. That's how it started. From that opening scene, I already knew, from that opening title sequence, I already knew this movie was in good hands. And god damn it, I was right. This movie was in damn good hands. And of course, believe it or not, there is an after credit scene. It references Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What are you doing? What are you doing here? You had the coat on, the suit on and stuff. The little, I forgot what it's called. The little thing you wear when you take bath towel thing. Bathrobe. There we go. And he's like, "What are you doing? It's over. There's nothing else." "Well, you think we got footage for Deadpool 2? What are you, crazy? We don't have that much money." Oh, but we'll say this. If when we do a sequel, my friend Cable will be in it. So he confirmed Cable, and he was like, "Chicka-bah," and it ends like that, and it ends. And that's the after credit scene. If you want to stick around, it's totally worth it. And overall, that's the movie. If you're a Deadpool fan, what the fuck are you waiting for? Go see this movie. But if you're a guy that's into just a great action comedy, again, this is also for you. If you like a guy that's so meta and breaks fourth wall jokes, by all means, go see this movie. It is a must-see of the year. I mean, 2016 is a great year to be alive with comic movies. I mean, we got not only this, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Civil War, X-Men Apocalypse. So much great shit coming out, and it's the greatest time to be a comic fan. And goddamn, it is the best year ever. And there's more exciting things from both Marvel and DC to come. And damn it, I cannot wait to see them all. And overall, go see Deadpool. I mean, it was nearly perfect. I mean, I guess if I had to say maybe one or two negatives that I could possibly think of. One, I wish it was longer. I felt it was too short. Maybe it was too short. I admit. I mean, I wish it was long. Well, I mean, it was long enough, but I wanted more. But that's not a bad thing. That's, I guess, the kind of that's one thing I think of. And I have to admit, the villains, though they did put up a good fight, and they were, I mean, somewhat interesting. They were cliched, boring. A cliched, boring villain. Nothing like revolutionary. Nothing like a Loki or Ultron or none like that. Or Heath Ledger Joker. Nothing of that caliber. Just stereotypical, we're here to sell you for money kind of villain kind of shit. Nothing new. I mean, typical villain you can see. So those I can think of. I wish it was longer. Those two kinds I can think of. I wish it was longer, and the villains weren't original. I mean, they were fun to watch, and they had cool scenes here and there with the fight scenes, but they were forgettable. But Ryan Reynolds still the show as Deadpool. Colossus, if you're a Colossus fan, he finally did shit. Yeah, he had little moments of X2 and X3, and he had some more cool moments in Days of Future Past. But to me, finally, Colossus finally shines in this damn movie by kicking some of the guard's ass and having an epic fist fight with Gina Carano. It was really epic to say at least. Like the whole Juggernaut fight we didn't get in The Last Stand, we got in this movie with her. Well, granted, it was a Juggernaut. But I imagine it will be something like this, on that scale. Like, when you see the movie, you know what I mean. But, and also Warhead was surprisingly an awesome character. I hope to see him in future films. But Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. And overall, it's a must-see movie of the year. Go see it. I highly recommend it. It kicks so much ass. Alright, guys, the RockingTheBlade signing out. Hope to see you guys again real soon. The next movie you'll see me in is Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice. And until then, guys, I'll see you when I see you guys. Have a good one.